Teams that won only 14 games 2 years ago aren't supposed to look like this. They aren't supposed to tear across the league with a 13-2 start. They aren't supposed to rattle off 11 straight wins. And they definitely aren't supposed to transform into one of the most physically imposing units in the sport. Yet somehow, the Detroit Pistons have done exactly that. Even more shocking is how they've done it while constantly missing players. Cade Cunningham, Assar Thompson, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Stewart, and even Jaylen Duren have all been sidelined at different points, with Ivey not even touching the court this season. Despite that chaos, Detroit has marched forward, looking like a team that outworks everyone, outlasts everyone, and overwhelms anyone who steps in front of them. What's happening in Detroit isn't a fluke. It's a complete identity shift built on defense, toughness, and smothering physicality. This team controls the paint, dictates the pace, and forces every single offensive possession to feel like a chore. They rank second in the NBA in defense, holding opponents to just 109.7 points per 100 possessions. Their half-court defense is even scarier, locking teams down with an 89 rating that leaves little room for comfort. Add in a fourth-best net rating and the second-highest turnover creation in the league, and the picture becomes clear. Detroit isn't sneaking up on anybody. They're bulldozing through the league with a system that is designed to break rhythm, break timing, and break confidence. On film, the identity is unmistakable. Every possession is a war zone where nothing comes easy. Assar Thompson already looks like one of the 3 best point-over-attack defenders in basketball, swallowing drives with his length and ferocity. Cunningham and Jenkins eliminate passing angles with their physical presence. Javonte Green ignites chaos in every direction. And behind all of it stand Duren and Stewart, cleaning up anything that manages to slip through. The Pistons funnel everything toward the baseline, clog the middle of the floor, and extend arms into every passing lane. Drives turn into traps. Simple passes turn into turnovers. Even basic actions start to feel like impossible tasks. Their transition game flows straight out of that defensive identity. The moment they generate a steal, they convert it into instant pressure the other way. Robinson strips the ball, and immediately Detroit turns it into a clean break that ends in a Thompson finish. Jenkins disrupts a play. Cade scoops it, dives into the paint, spins, and creates a wide-open 3. Green forces a steal, and Cade rises for an alley-oop. Duren jumps a lane, puts the ball on the floor, and creates free throws. Thompson reads a pass like it's written in open text and jets the other way. Every moment showcases their energy and instincts. But where Detroit still differs from Oklahoma City, the league's gold standard in turning defense into elite offense, is execution. They create the same chaos, the same turnovers, the same fast break chances. But they don't always cash them in. Cade throwing a risky alley-oop in traffic, Thompson missing transition finishes. And a few sloppy sequences leave points on the floor. Those small margins explain why Detroit sits 11th in offensive rating, while OKC is a top 5 machine. The Pistons aren't there yet, but compared to last season, the leap is astonishing. The true breakthrough lies in their half-court growth. A year ago, forcing Detroit into a half-court battle was basically a win. Outside of Cunningham, there was no shot creation, no secondary playmaking, and no real way to generate quality looks once the game slowed down. Now, everything is different. Detroit has climbed to 13th in half-court offense, powered largely by the Duren pick and roll, which has quietly become one of the most reliable actions in the league. Cade has evolved into one of the most clutch players in basketball. And Duren has gone from a pure lob threat to a legitimate engine who makes plays, reads defenses, and punishes mismatches with frightening consistency. Cade's rise is the backbone of Detroit's transformation. His numbers alone tell the story. Nearly 27 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, and over a steal per game despite shooting just 27% from 3. He's dominating games without even having the jumper working. Smaller guards can't handle his strength, and bigger defenders can't stay with his quickness. In fourth quarters, he becomes something even more dangerous. He hits tough mid-range shots, barrels through contact, finishes in transition, and delivers the kind of takeover moments the Pistons haven't seen in years. His turnovers have dropped, His reads have sharpened, and his control over games has become veteran level. If he regains his outside shot, he will crash the MVP race and force voters to pay attention. Then there's Jaylen Duren, arguably the biggest breakout star in the league. At 21 years old, he's become one of the most efficient interior forces in basketball. Over 20 points, nearly 12 rebounds, and elite finishing numbers that seem almost impossible for someone his age. The real difference is his skill development. He's no longer just dunking lobs. He's driving from the elbow, making short roll reads, attacking mismatches, absorbing contact, and hitting free throws at a respectable rate. Defenses that trap Cade get punished immediately because Duren catches, takes one dribble, and finds himself at the rim with no resistance. He is developing faster than anyone predicted, reshaping Detroit's timeline and ceiling in the process. But the surge isn't only about stars. It's about unexpected contributions everywhere. Duncan Robinson has been electric, providing shooting and surprising defensive activity. Jenkins has gone from a two-way contract to one of the most valuable bench players in the league, giving Detroit scoring, playmaking, tempo, and defensive toughness. Assar Thompson brings winning habits every night, even without consistent shooting. Green, Lanier, and others have filled gaps with effort, intelligence, and poise. Detroit's rotation is no longer top-heavy. It's deep, resilient, and purposeful. So what does it all mean? Is Detroit real, or is this simply a hot start against weak competition? The truth is that what they're doing is sustainable. The defense is foundational. The physicality is intentional. Cade's late-game dominance is reliable. Duren's leap is transformative. And the supporting cast fits around them perfectly. Detroit hasn't even been healthy yet. Key players like Harris, Ivey, and Stewart are still returning. When fully assembled, the Pistons' ceiling could be much higher than the league expects. The Eastern Conference is wide open. And while Detroit still must improve offensively and Cade must regain his outside shot, this team has